Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with the free pick in the Alabama versus South Carolina college football matchup on Saturday, October 12th, 2024. Of course, it's my favorite day of the week during my favorite time of the year, college football Saturday. If you like all the free picks we do at Pickdawgz, you'll love our premium picks, our best bets. Just go to Pickdawgz.com, click on the premium picks tab. I've also got a link directly below this video in the description. We also have of course, a discount code PICK. You can take 15% off all of your purchases. Prices start at $15. We also have products meant for people that make big bets, people with big bankrolls looking for that VIP concierge style service. These are our most expensive premium packages, and they're all long-term packages. But if you're interested, text the number you see on the screen. But let's get to it. Got Alabama taking on South Carolina. Of course, Alabama victims last week of one of the biggest upsets in recent college football history. That is losing at Vanderbilt. And I'm not talking about the biggest point spread upset in weeks, but just or of the year or really any of those things. But 23-point road favorites against the Commodores. It was the first loss for Alabama against against an unranked team in a long time. It was also the first win by Vanderbilt over a top 5 ranked team. So all sorts of things. I mean, covering the spread and not covering the spread and all that stuff is one thing, but losing outright at Vandy, just very un-Alabama-like. And I'll tell you what, if DeBoer has a run of games like that, his run at Alabama will not be a very long one. South Carolina coming off of a tough loss against Ole Miss. Ole Miss was fired up. Another team that was coming off of an upset loss. They had lost to Kentucky, a team that South Carolina had beaten handily in Lexington, 31-6 earlier this season. But South Carolina, Shane Beamer, the hot seat, certainly still very warm on him despite that win over UK. But a win over Bama would certainly cool things off a little bit. The Tide, I think, when we look at that Vandy game, you could say, it was a giant upset and all those things. But, those of you that watched my video last week, we took Vandy in that game at least plus, we took them at least plus the points. Because I do believe the troubles here at Alabama are a lot further than what people will really give it credit for. The Tide offense is solid, 17th best in the nation in yards gained. The rushing attack, 5.5 yards per carry. The passing attack, 274 yards a game. All on the surface looks pretty good. But the thing is, the Tide, outside of Georgia, they haven't really played all that much. South Florida, Western Kentucky was, a bad Wisconsin team. And, even Vandy, they scored 35 points in that game. But, not exactly what the result the Tide fans were expecting. Meanwhile, the South Carolina defense, very good against the run, 32nd best in the nation, 111.2 yards per game. And against the pass, not too bad either. Completion percentage, teams completing just 53.9% of their passes. So Milroe's certainly going to be tested as far as that goes. When you look at the South Carolina offense, it has not been very good. 184 yards per game on the ground is 44th best. They're going to be up against this Tide defense, which really doesn't look as good as some of the Alabama defenses in the past. I think 49th best in the nation in yards allowed is really, about 48 spots lower than where Alabama wants to be, and definitely, 40 spots lower than where you expect them to be, in the top 10. Yards per rush against 31st best in the nation. Once again, good numbers on paper, but really not quite Alabama standards. Completion percent against, pretty solid in that category. But the thing is, I think the trouble for the Tide just runs a lot deeper. And I think, the penalties that we see, all these things just not Nick Saban-like and not what we're expected, what we expect to see from Alabama in recent years. Alabama's had to replace legends as head coaches several times. They haven't had a lot of success when doing that. I don't know, maybe the Tide bounce back and get the win here, but I'm going to take South Carolina to cover the spread, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while doing your picks, putting your bets in, be sure to use our free betting tools at sportshopplace.com. 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.